champion is on the spot today. Hello, I'm Larry Matisick, and this is Wrestling at the Chase. Harley Race, owner of wrestling's biggest prize, has put himself squarely on the spot in today's main event. Race has challenged and has agreed to win one fall apiece from Fritz Von Erich and his son David within 30 minutes or forfeit the match. It's Race's idea because he hopes to eliminate both David and Fritz from title contention by taking a fall apiece within 30 minutes. Fritz and David decide who meets Race first. If the first man beats Race, the match is over and Race is a loser. If Race defeats his first opponent, the second man goes into action without a rest period. Race must win one fall from David and one fall from Fritz within 30 minutes or forfeit the bout. There's lots of other action on tap, and we'll be back with the opener right after this.
The main event, a handicap match with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing from Kansas City, Missouri, weighing 247 pounds, the world heavyweight champion, Harley Race. And from Denton, Texas, weighing 236 pounds, David Von Erich. From Denton, Texas, weighing 260 pounds, Fritz Von Erich. Referee, Eddie Smith.
Fritz and David Von Erich decide between themselves who will meet the world heavyweight champion first, and it looks like David Von Erich will be in there first against the world champion. No, now Fritz steps in. A little father and son dispute. David wants to go in there first against Harley Race, but you know that Fritz Von Erich has long been after that gold belt. It's really the only honor in professional wrestling he hasn't won. And David talks his father into letting David start against the world champion. David Von Erich, who recently held the World Heavyweight Champion to a 30-minute time limit draw down in Fort Worth, Texas. Race forces David up against the ropes. Harley Race with a knee lift to David's stomach. He hooks ahead, quickly going for the suplex. Could this be a try for the suplex? He grabs the tights. Look at David Von Erich. He escaped the suplex. Reverse rolling cradle by David. This could be the end of the match right here. Race barely escaping, and Fritz Von Erich here at ringside cheering, yelling, urging on his son David against the world heavyweight champion. And Race takes a long look at David Von Erich. David escaped, Race's suplex, and nearly pinned the world champion with a reverse rolling cradle. Front rolling cradle. Small package hold by David. At the count of two, the world champion escapes again. Fritz Von Erich yells at referee Eddie Smith to count quicker. You're finished, Race, says Fritz Von Erich to Harley Race. And Race looks outside the ring at Fritz. Fritz says, you're going down to the world heavyweight champion. And David Von Erich, he's on the spot right now as much as the world heavyweight champion is. They tie up in the center of the ring. Both men pulling on the opposite neck, trying to get a little advantage. Race comes up with a side headlock. David throws Race away. David goes into the abdominal stretch. The abdominal stretch by David Von Erich on Harley Race. I'm sure you can hear Fritz Von Erich urging David on to pour on the pressure. Race doesn't want to submit. If he gives up here, he will be beaten, and Fritz and David will be the winners. David with the abdominal stretch, pulling back, yanking back on the arms, twisting the back of the world heavyweight champion. Race as tough as they come, refusing to submit as David pours on more and more agonizing pressure. Race tried to reach up for the head, couldn't get the leverage. Now gets a hold of David's nose and eyes. He pulled across the nose, raked the eyes of David Von Erich, allowing him to break out of the abdominal stretch, and that is 3 times already. The world heavyweight champion has been in tremendous difficulty. Race with a blow to David's midsection. Harley Race wasting no time now. David fights right back with some of Race by David. Try for the pin. Count up 2 and Race again throws off David. Kevin Von Erich has also come down to ringside to watch this all-important handicap match. There you see Fritz and Kevin Von Erich watching David against the world heavyweight champion. David Von Erich with a side headlock on Harley Race, and so far it has been all David Von Erich. Race almost forced back on his shoulders, but Harley keeping those shoulders up. Don't forget now, this is not a handicap tag match, it's a handicap match. Race must win one fall apiece from both David and then he still must beat Fritz Von Erich if he can get past David. This must all be done within a 30-minute time limit. If Race has not taken one fall from each man within 30 minutes, Race is a loser, and the Von Erichs win. Look at that bridge by David Von Erich. What a bridge by Von Erich. Race was over on top. Fritz and Kevin urging on David, and you saw that bridge. Brilliant wrestling, tremendous neck and tendon power by David Von Erich. Race must be wondering what he's gotten himself into. A handicap match. He must win one fall apiece from each man. Kevin Von Erich running over to take a quick look at exactly what's happening. Can you imagine how the adrenaline is flowing in the bodies of all the three Von Erichs? There's that bridge again by David. Even though Race was pulling hair and then had pressure against the chin, David Von Erich was still able to bridge out of trouble and nearly got a quick pin on the world champion. Harley Race, and this must have been how it was in Fort Worth, Texas during that 30-minute draw, because they said David just dominated the action. Fritz and Kevin both yelling at the referee because Harley Race was pulling the tights of David, trying to roll David back onto his shoulders. The tension here at ringside, boy, you could cut it with a knife. It's that tense.
5 minutes have elapsed, 25 minutes left.
5 minutes have passed of the 30 minutes that Harley Race said was all he needed to win a fall apiece from David Von Erich and David's father, Fritz. David in complete command at this point, twisting Harley Race's head. Race rolled back onto his shoulders. That one shoulder still up. Harley'd love to get off his back and get to his feet so he can somehow break up this side headlock of David Von Erich. Race has been in so many pressure situations and responded so well. That's why he's had the gold belt, symbolic of the World Heavyweight Champion, for almost 2.5 years since he defeated Terry Funk in Toronto, Canada on February the 6th, 1977. Race manages to get to his feet, gets on a semi-bear hug, but can't really get any pressure. David has all the leverage at this point. David still squeezing the head, but now Harley getting some pressure of his own with that bear hug, trying to take the side headlock away from David Von Erich. Race leans into David, puts him on the ropes, and Eddie Smith wants a break from the world champion. Clean break, yells Fritz. Headbutt to the jaw, right to the jaw by Harley Race. Kevin Von Erich yells up at Harley Race. Race grabs David, going for the side suplex. David blocks it. Side suplex by David Von Erich. David hits the ropes to the air. Oh, and he misses the flying elbow drop. Race sizes up David. Flying elbow drop by the world champion, misses. David hoists the champion. Body slam by David Von Erich. Side headlock, and again, David Von Erich outmaneuvers the world heavyweight champion. Kevin Von Erich grabs the gold belt and holds it out so David can take a look at it. A little extra encouragement. A little extra encouragement for David Von Erich. Of course, that gold belt's not at stake in this handicap match, but everybody knows what this handicap match means. Will Harley Race be able to knock David and Fritz Von Erich out of contention, really leaving only Kevin as an immediate potential challenger for Harley Race? But it doesn't seem to bother Kevin right now because he is rooting just as hard as his father Fritz is for David to take care of Race right here and now. And don't forget, if Race can get by David, he still has to tangle with the inventor and master of the Iron Claw, Fritz Von Erich. He has to win one fall apiece within 30 minutes or forfeit the match. And right now, things are not going well for the World Heavyweight Champion. David Von Erich has been absolutely sensational. Race grabs up for the hair, pulling back on the hair. The referee slaps away the hand of Harley Race. Race trying to get over on his stomach, and once again, that might allow Harley, who's very strong in the upper body, to force his way to his feet. Harley over on that stomach now. David has to change the position just a little bit in how he's applying that side headlock. Harley muscles his way up. David still with the side headlock. Eddie Smith checking with Race. No way that Harley Race is going to give up there. Kevin yells at David to get that bone right across the ear. And, of course, he's talking about the forearm bone. The tighter that can be in against the jaw, the cheek, and the ear, the more effective the side headlock is. Race puts David on the ropes. The Von Erichs yell for a clean break. Race sags to one knee. Eddie Smith trying to get the world champion back. David looking for the clean break, instead catches a shoulder to the stomach. Race drives the shoulder to the stomach and knocks David clear out of the ring to the concrete floor. Race going outside the ring after David, the Von Erichs. Oh, Race going for the pile driver to the concrete floor. David blocks it and back flips Race onto the concrete floor. David Von Erich stopping the pile driver of Harley Race and dropping Race onto the concrete floor. Harley Race knocked David through the ropes and tried to give David a pile driver on the concrete. David backflipped Race to the concrete himself. David all excited, trying to get at Race, who has a 20 count outside the ring. Harley, badly stunned, rolls underneath the bottom rope and into the ring. David Von Erich with a tremendous edge right here, tries a follow-up. He drops Race. Try for a pin. Race drapes his legs on the bottom rope. David Von Erich, what more could you ask from a budding young star, a young star we should say, because he's showing he belongs inside that ring with the world champion. Drop kick by David. Race goes down. David goes for the pin. Race has those legs on the ropes once more.
10 minutes have elapsed, 20 minutes left.
Race with a headbutt to the stomach. David came in trying to follow up the advantage. Kevin Von Erich yells that it was below the belt where Race delivered that headbutt. That headbutt to the side of David's head, right into the temple area. In fact, the temple, which has been so important to the success of the Iron Claw for Fritz Von Erich, and recently David Von Erich has been using that Iron Claw too, making Fritz and David the winners. The world champion on the mat, the blood running out of his head, all over his face, over his chest, over his arms. David Von Erich has pinned the world heavyweight champion, rather has put him out cold, causing the match to be stopped and making it a victory for Fritz and David Von Erich over the world champion. The Von Erichs celebrating, Race bleeding in terrible pain, trying to get to his feet. Now look at the blood just pouring out of that head of Harley Race. Race trying to get to his feet as the Von Erichs celebrate their victory. Race, you can see the blood smeared all over the canvas as Race tries to get to his feet. Fritz Von Erich looks at what David has done, what his son David has done to the world champion. Here's Mickey Garagiola.
In 14 minutes and 30 seconds, the Iron Claw, the winner, David Von Erich. Race failing to pin his opponents. The winners of the match is Fritz Von Erich and David Von Erich.
World heavyweight champion is still in the ring being helped out. You can see what David Von Erich's Iron Claw has done to the world champion. We have with us Fritz and David, who are the winners of the match. Fritz, you never had to touch the world champion Harley Race, but you have to be proud and happy right now.
Larry, I couldn't be happier anywhere in the world. He did the same thing in Fort Worth, Texas a very short time ago. Race shows he's not very bright to come up here and challenge David and myself. What made him do it, I don't know, but I want to tell you one thing. I don't think there's any doubt at all who the leading contender for the World Heavyweight Champion is right now. It's David Von Erich. I demand, I insist that he be given strong consideration to wrestle Harley Race as soon as is possible. He'll do it a third time, I guarantee you.
David, you told us some time back that you would use the Iron Claw when you had it perfected. Was it effective today? The question is answered.
Well, Larry, you tell me, was it effective today? And I'll tell you what, the next time I get him for that gold buckle, it's going to be twice as deadly and twice as effective. And I'm going to take that championship for the people of St. Louis.
David, I have to tell you, it wasn't just a question that you used the Iron Claw to beat him, but during the match, you dominated the action completely.
Well, Larry, hey, it comes from my dad. I've worked all my life with different people that Dad's brought in, and I owe it all to this man right here, and I love him to death.
Fritz and David, Kevin, we have to ask you something, too, now. The father has said that he feels David should get the title match. You're a leading contender, too, but I guess right now you would second Fritz's contention that David is a leading contender.
There's no doubt he's earned a shot at Harley Race. He's earned it, and he can beat him, and he can take that championship home where it belongs.
Larry, I was in St. Louis an awful long time. I'm going to make a forecast. Sam Mussick is the most fair promoter I guess I've ever met in my life. The greatest promoter that in the United States, no doubt about that. I will state this. Sam Mussick, if you are listening to me, you arrange a title match for David Von Erich, and I say that you'll have a new world heavyweight champion.
Fritz, of course, you're the guy who taught him everything he knows. He has the experience. A lot of people say, well, maybe David and Kevin are too young, but I think you have the answer for that, and the answer was proven here today, maybe.
Fritz was 21 years old. David's only 20. It happened before. With a Von Erich, it can sure happen again.
Fritz Von Erich, who has insisted, in fact demanded, that his son David get a crack at Harley Race for the World Heavyweight Championship. And after what David did to Harley Race right here, the blood still all over the ring, the blood from Harley Race's head, the blood that was caused by the iron claw from David Von Erich. It's easy to see why Fritz says that David is right now the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. We'll be right back with another match after this.